Guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, we are here doing another serial killer files reaction. And again, if you like this type of content and want to see me continue to do this type of content, hit the like button. It's the easiest way to let me know that you really want to see more content like this. It's easy. Just go down below, hit the thumbs up. That lets me know. And I know a lot of you guys tell me that you always forget to hit the like button. Don't worry, I get it. I've done it myself several times, watching Sam and Colby videos and stuff like that. I have done it myself. You are not alone. So just hit that like button. It really does mean a lot. And if you guys want to help me get where I want this channel to go really quick, head on over to our Patreon page. I don't post every single day, but I do post a lot. There's over 500 exclusive and posts, just random posts on Patreon, including full-length movie reactions, TV show reactions, like horror show reactions. We're on Stranger Things right now. We're doing season 1 and all of that stuff. So if you guys really want to check that stuff out for only $1 a month, and if you want to even go farther, there's a $5 tier and a $10 tier, a $7 tier, stuff like that. So please, it helps out a lot. You have no idea how much it helps out. And if you are with us for a good portion or a period of the time, you will have your name at the end credits of my videos. So it's kind of cool. You get excited on my channel. Hell yeah. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And again, I don't try to glorify these killers. I don't like the idea that some people might think that I am just trying to get their names out there more. I'm acknowledging the fact that they did these things. I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that they did these things, and I think it's very important to watch things like this to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that a lot of unfortunate people had to make back in the day. These are good life lessons. Take them seriously like I do. Now, I'm not trying to act like I'm a teacher or anything. I'm just saying, very important shit. Might save your life one day, because one of these videos might have taught you something about what a certain person might have done in the past, and now you're reliving it, so you might take that into consideration when watching these. I take that into high consideration. I'm always aware of my surroundings now, and I'm very cautious because of watching these types of videos. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Joseph Kallinger, father and son murderers. Oh boy. The Shoemaker.
Parents, they're there to love us, nurture us, and guide us through life so we may lead a life of prosperity and happiness.
That's the idea.
They're meant to, at least. Unfortunately for one man, what should have been a second chance led him down a dark path in life, one of madness and murder. Today we discuss Joseph Kallinger, the Shoemaker. Let's open the serial killer.
He looks very familiar. I might have seen this guy before. Rob Dyke. Here we go.
Joseph Kallinger was born Joseph Lee Brenner III on December 11th, 1935 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Judith and Joseph Brenner Jr.
He would be in his
early
90s
life
right
was
now, or
tumultuous
100.
to say the least. At only a year old, he was placed up for adoption after his father abandoned the family and his mother could no longer care for him. He was adopted by Austrian immigrants Stephen and Anna Kallinger on October 15, 1939. However, his new family would not bring him the stability and comfort he required. His adoptive parents were extremely abusive, both physically and verbally, beating him for even minor indiscretions. He would be locked in closets, forced to kneel on rocks, starved, and even whipped. At the age of 6, he developed a hernia which required surgery. After returning home, his parents taunted him, telling him the doctor had fixed his little bird while he was in the hospital, implying
what the fuck is wrong with these people?
Rendered impotent. Joseph's parents refused to let him enjoy normal childhood activities like riding a bike, having birthday parties, or playing with neighborhood children, instead forcing him to work after school and on weekends in his father's shoe shop in order to train to take over the family business. In 1947, when he...
And maybe, you know, if you want someone to take over your family business, you don't fucking let them... When you... Okay, so they adopt a kid because they wanted someone to take over the family business, the shoe shop. Why the fuck is he going to want to do that when you guys are assholes? People, dude, sometimes the logic that comes out of people, like pieces of shit like his adoptive mother and father, are just beyond retarded.
He was 8 years old. His mother bashed him over the head with a hammer for defiantly stating he wanted to go to the zoo on a class trip. The same
What
year,
the
he
fuck?
was sexually molested at knife point by 3 older boys while on his way home from running an errand. Afraid of the punishment he
What
may
the
have received
fuck?
for not coming straight home, he refused to tell his parents, and the boys went unpunished. At age 10, a desperate
That is
Joseph
horrible.
sought out friends by stealing money from his parents and bribing neighborhood children to attend movies with him. Once caught, his parents burned his fingers on the stove to burn the demon thief out of the fingers that steal, they said. He continued
His parents
stealing,
are shit, dude.
enduring the painful punishment each time he was caught until finally relenting from the pain. In his teen years, Joseph aspired to become a playwright, rebelling against his parents and teachers. He starred as Ebenezer Scrooge in the 9th grade in a local production of A Christmas Carol. Eventually, his parents began letting him attend the theater on Saturdays, which is where he met and began dating a girl named Hilda Bergman when he was only 15.
At least they let him
His
do
parents
that.
highly
Jeez, man.
disapproved of their relationship,
Well, of course
which
they did.
quickly became sexual. However, Joseph persisted, dropping out of school and marrying her in 1952 at the age of 17. The marriage produced 2 children, but ended in divorce in 1956 due to domestic violence at the hands of Joseph. The divorce caused major stress for Joseph, and he was hospitalized a year later for issues thought to be caused by stress. He would go on to marry his second wife, Elizabeth, on April 20th, 1958, and have 5 more children with her.
Oh my God.
Joseph attempted to be a good father, working as a shoemaker in his family's shoe shop and involving himself in his children's school activities. His mental state began to deteriorate over time, however. He committed arson by setting the family home on fire in 1958 and collected $1,600 in an insurance payout and would do so 4 more times over the next 9 years.
4 more times of burning your own house down for the insurance. Oh my freaking gosh. You know, it's situations like this to where it's like, I do not agree with anything this man is probably going to be doing. I'm sure murder's coming up. But I can see where it came from. Holy hell. Orphaned, adopted, beaten brutally, sexually assaulted by 3 kids. Couldn't even tell your own parents because they'd probably look at it as your fault. Being on a tight leash the whole time. Okay, this is how you make a psycho.
In 1959, he was committed to a mental hospital for attempting suicide. In 1972, he was arrested on child abuse charges after branding his oldest daughter with a hot utensil as punishment for running away. In addition,
Wow,
to
he learned
2
a lot
of
from his
older
fucking
children also
foster
claiming
parents.
abuse. He was found incompetent to stand trial after testing found him to have an IQ of 82, as well as being a paranoid schizophrenic. His children later recanted their initial allegations, and Joseph was released. By 1974, Joseph began hearing the voice of God, emanating from the disembodied head he referred to as Charlie. The voice ordered Joseph to begin killing young boys and to sever their genitals. In early July of that year, he enlisted the help of his 13-year-old son, Michael, to help him carry out his horrific plans. His first victim was a 10-year-old Puerto Rican boy named Jose Collazo, whom he and his son lured to an abandoned factory before torturing and severing his genitals, then asphyxiating him to death. Joseph's next victim would end up being his own son, 14-year-old Joseph Jr. He made several attempts on his son's life before he and Michael drowned him and dumped his body at a demolition site in August of 1974. The police could not arrest him due to a lack of evidence. However, the insurance company that he had taken out a policy with...
I don't know if he's going to read this or not. Why did you do that, Kallinger? He was a sacrifice. I was to murder 3 million people with Planet Bartha. Bartha? You murdered your own son, Kallinger? Yes, I did. You piece of rat-ass shit.
On his son's life,
you're a waste of space.
To pay out, suspecting foul play. The father-son duo eventually began extending their crime spree outwards to neighboring cities and states. On November 22nd, the two broke into a home in Lindenwold, New Jersey, but found no one to be home. The same day, the pair broke into the home of Joan Carty. Joseph sexually assaulted her after they tied her to the bed. Less than 2 weeks later, the two broke into a home in Susquehanna Township, Pennsylvania, where they took 5 women having a bridge game hostage. They robbed them at knife point of $20,000 worth of cash and jewelry, as well as cutting one of the women's breasts. They then traveled to Homeland, Maryland.
Okay,
and
so they
held
didn't kill
Pamela
him?
Jaski at gunpoint, forcing her to perform oral sex on Joseph.
Fucking
Later,
rapist
on
piece of
January
shit.
6th, the pair committed the same acts
Oh,
on Mary
God.
Rudolph at her home in Dumont, New Jersey. The final wave of crime for the father and son came to a conclusion on January 8, 1975, when Joseph and Michael entered the Leonia, New Jersey home of the DeWitt Romaine family. Home at the time was 28-year-old Edwina Dee Dee Romaine Wiseman, her 3-year-old son Robert, and her 90-year-old grandmother whom she was caring for. Joseph and Michael forced their way in at knife and gunpoint, taking mother and son hostage. He stripped them both naked, took Dee Dee's jewelry, and bound and gagged them up on a bed in an upstairs bedroom. Soon after, Dee Dee's sister Randy returned home, and she too was taken hostage.
Fuck's
They demanded
sakes.
money from her and bound her just as they had bound her sister and nephew. The women had indicated more people were on their way to the house. However, Joseph was prepared. As their mother Edwina DeWitt Romaine, sister Retta, and Retta's boyfriend Frank Welby returned home, they too were taken hostage.
Jeez, man.
The 3 were bound and gagged by Joseph and Michael, after which they searched the house for valuables. Not long after they had finished binding the last 3 hostages, a knock at the door was heard. 21-year-old Maria Fashing, a neighbor and nurse who had come over to help care for their grandmother, was standing at their door. Maria was taken hostage by Joseph, forcing her and a bound and gagged Frank into the basement. After threatening Frank to keep him from trying to escape, he slit Maria's throat. Edwina DeWitt Romaine, having not had her hands bound earlier, managed to crawl her way through the front door and screamed for help. Michael signaled to his father that someone was coming. The two fled the scene and got on the city bus, dumping their weapons in a blood-stained t-shirt on their way home. The Kallingers fell under police suspicion after they had found the t-shirt. Aside from this, eyewitness descriptions and police sketches produced of the suspects matched their
Yeah, they left a lot of people alive to give them
Police also learned
descriptions
of
and
the
shit.
suspicious circumstances surrounding Joseph Jr.'s death and his prior child abuse charges. On January 17, 1975, police arrested Joseph, Michael, and his 11-year-old son James on the charges of kidnapping, rape, burglary, and Maria Fashing's murder. James was later released after concluding he was not the son involved in the crimes. Once in jail,
that's good. He
Joseph
got away
began
with- yeah,
to
he's-
behave
he wasn't
erratically,
involved, so.
claiming he had been alive for 1,000 years as a butterfly.
He was insane.
And was on a
Oh.
mission from God, as well as attempting suicide numerous times. During his first trial, he was declared schizophrenic by psychologists, but found fit to stand trial. But he could not convince the jury he was insane.
For one, I'm a Christian. God wouldn't have you going around and murdering random. This guy seems to me like he was just making up excuses to justify what he was trying to do and what he was wanting to do. He said he was on a mission from God, yet to kill people, yet he doesn't sound like he really killed a lot of people. It just sounded like he robbed them and took their money. So I don't know what his game was. Piece of shit regardless. Annoying. I lived for 1,000 years as a butterfly. Get out of here.
The case against him was too strong, and he was found guilty on September 18th, 1975
Good.
on the charges of burglary, robbery, and kidnapping, and sentenced to 30 to 80 years in prison. His
Life.
second trial for the Leonia crimes and the murders of his son and Jose Collazo commenced on September 13th, 1976. His erratic behavior had not ceased, but worsened. During the trial, he had to be removed due to his disruptive conduct. Despite pleading guilty, his behavior did little to sway the opinions of those in the court, who all believed he was only acting. He was later found guilty on all charges and was sentenced to life in prison on October 14th, 1976. He was eventually committed to a mental hospital in 1979 after numerous violent incidents and suicide attempts, including attempting to set himself on fire. Joseph Kallinger died of heart failure and a seizure on March 26, 1996, at the State Correctional Institution in Crescent Township, Pennsylvania, at the age of 60. As for Michael Kallinger, he was found to have been under the control of his father and was given a very much reduced sentence. He changed his name upon finishing his sentence at age 21 and moved out of the state, and to this day has not been heard from since, and his whereabouts are unknown. That's all in this file. Please be sure now to watch another video, and of course press on screen.
Holy shit. So his son could possibly be still out there alive, or he could have passed away by now. Holy shit. He was young. He was extremely young when his father was having him help him with this kind of bullshit. I don't know. I feel like the kid probably had some very mental, his mind must have been destroyed. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to make too much of a comment on that. That's crazy that he's still possibly out there, though. Well, his good riddance for his father dying. Sorry if you ever watched this. I'm glad he's dead. Just being honest. Piece of shit, human being. Holy shit. Killed his own son. Oh, man. Get out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. Yeah, all the excuses he made up, that he was around for 1,000 years, living as a butterfly. He was on a mission from God, yet he just robbed people. That's what he was doing most of the time, was just robbing people, looking for jewelry, valuables, taking sexual pleasures when women were tied up. And yeah, he was a rapist. He was a piece of shit human being. He made up a lot of dumb excuses just to try to cover up the fact that he was wanting to be a criminal, really. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think of this piece of shit? Let me know down below. I'm curious to hear your opinions. Again, if you like this type of content, want to see me continue to do these serial killer files, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you really want to go the farthest length and really help out the channel a lot, go to the merch store or go to our Patreon page. Really means a lot. Get a cup, a really cool retro cup I just put up there not too long ago. You guys can rock the merch, have a popcorn bucket on your shirt. Hell yes. So until next time, guys, keep it retro, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Take care. Holy shit, Michael. We made it to We Slaughtered Barbecue. The epitome and the purpose of our trip is to make it to this area.
Oh yes. Food and cattle.
Yep. I just noticed, is that a cemetery way over there, or are those cattle?
No, I think that is a small cemetery.
Holy shit, that's kind of cool and creepy. That thing is massive, but there's not just that one. There are spiders literally
There's
everywhere.
one there. There's one there. There's one over there. And then there's this one here.
Dude, they're everywhere on the property.
Huge.
It's
Oh,
cool.
there's one there.